A way of life. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. Just wanted to come on here to talk about Jupiter in Capricorn. So Jupiter goes retrograde for 4 months every year, and it went retrograde back in May and went direct just this month, September. Jupiter rules philosophy, religion, ethical things, moral things, beliefs, higher education, legal things, travel, and international things. Jupiter in Capricorn gave us a reality check about where we're comfortable in our Jupiter area of life, where we felt free and just kind of flitting around doing things freely without being grounded in anything. We may have felt like we had to work for something or be patient, especially while we were, forced to be in our homes. Really asking ourselves, how can we live in this new world? Like, I think a lot of people found something and just kind of ran with it. When I think of this, I think of like people who post positive quotes, and realize that people started liking it, but is it really grounded in anything? Now's the time to get down to the nitty gritty and really make some changes. When I thought of this, I thought of how the Piscean age kind of had us in our minds thinking, and the dream state where sleep, we're just living by the seat of our pants, or just conforming to get along, to go along to get along. So thinking about this Jupiter and Capricorn is like we're really bringing our minds, all the ideas and things that we may have been thinking, and really bringing them out into the this reality, and really planting them firmly grounded in practical, real things. Um, and growing on that, right? Because anything that Jupiter touches, it expands. So we can't really have this conversation without talking about, Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn, because they've kind of all been in conjunct really throughout this entire year since January. And Saturn kind of rules Capricorn, so it kind of reinforces all those Capricorn traits. Um, Pluto in Capricorn is unearthing all that has been hidden. The fact that this world, earth, land has been built on a lie. Um, we kind of had to mature in some way, shape, or form, realizing that we are spreading ourselves too thin with the way things were run, and what things we were doing. Um, so really now, as Capricorn and Pluto and Capricorn is really asking us to do the deep work to, get through all these Capricorn themes that are coming up. So, as a career coach, some of the things that I noticed right off the beginning, obviously, is your career. Maybe you was in a career that you didn't like anyways, but who really had the time to make those changes, right? Um, Without you having to excuse your bills, or sacrifice something in order to survive on a daily basis. So now we have the time to do that. So what is it that you really want to do now? Capricorn is saying, do you really like this career? What career do you like? Do you just want a higher position? Capricorn is your status in life. And how you gain your respect in the world, on the world stage, how people see you, how people view you. So maybe it was just about getting a higher position that paid better so that you can change your life in some kind of way, or going back to school for what you wanted to do. Now you have the time to really take to do all of those things so you can get the career that you want, or to start a business. Um, the things that might be changing are, getting a raise, and working more hours is another thing that I noticed with a lot of jobs. Is now that people can work from home, they want more hours out of you. So like Google, I think they changed their hours from 9 to 9, even though I think there was always some parts of Google that you could work from home from. But now that it's an entirety thing, people are working from 9 to 9 now, which I found very interesting. Um, and if you wanted to do the higher education, um, you know, or if you already had a higher education, a lot of jobs now so much aren't really, because the need for workers is so high, they're not really that interested in your education, believe it or not. Like DCF workers, you need a license to do a lot of that work. A lot of people are like, well, if you got something, even if it's the basics, we'll take you. If you had many years and you still don't have the license or the education, but you've worked in a specific field that's relatable, like using those transferable skills, they're accepting people. So that's another thing within the career field that I noticed that I find very interesting. And then you had the home changes. Everybody had to come back home. So if you were an empty nester, now you got all your kids back home. So your schedule has changed, your home life has changed. But if you were able to work from home, you're saving more money. And then if you got all of the resources, Pluto rules all your resources, taxes, debt, life insurance, death, rebirth, people who owe you money, and people who owe money to you. Um, you know, these kinds of things elevated in some kind of way. Like I know people who were getting unemployment got way more than they would typically if they, just qualified for unemployment. And so that has been really great for a lot of people, and a lot of people took advantage of that by way of investing more, starting a savings, and putting more money into their business, expanding on their home, like all these little things that people probably always wanted to do but never really had the time to do them. So Pluto is really allowing people to do the deeper work, asking yourself, what do you really want, and getting those things done in Capricorn, which I found really very interesting. Um, and then, on the other side of that, when you got your kids home, you're realizing, well, nobody was probably doing what the hell they were supposed to be doing in school any goddamn way. People probably need to change some subjects or something. The bigger conversations that are coming up with things that have been hidden. Or, your relationship is now you're closer than ever, and you either love it or hate it, and people are getting divorced or getting closer, learning more about themselves, growing and expanding in love in that kind of way. That's beautiful, if that's your story. And then on the other hand of that, we had the single parents who didn't have the daycare and the help and the support in that kind of way. So your jobs and responsibilities in home probably expanded by way of maybe you're working and you have to take care of the baby and you have a side business, or you're not working and you have the baby and you're able to grow in other areas of your life, which has been really kind of cool. I think the stress levels and depression probably heightened a bit. And Pluto's gonna ask, how are you gonna deal with that? Are you gonna hire a nanny? Are you gonna send the kids back to school now that things are opening up? Is it gonna be 1 day or 2 day? I like the fact that they've broken it up and given people the opportunity to do less and not all. Just really, where again, figuring out how to maneuver in this new world. So that has been very interesting. Um, yeah, I think the only other thing is that I saw that really kind of grew in a major way over time is business. Um, um, Capricorn rules business area of life. Pluto rules all your residual income. So, in what ways has that changed for you, and how can you expand on that Jupiter and Capricorn? So, if all the resources have diminished in some kind of way, and you kind of don't have these places to go to get your resources anymore as a business, how can you expand? I did a video on this. I'll post the link down below if I remember. Um, but if you have a business, how can you reach out to the community and become the resource, right? You become the plug. So, what community companies and organizations can you connect to in your community to expand your business? Do you have a volunteer outreach program in your business? Partnering with other businesses like schools to help people do um, internships and just hire people when as soon as they get out, depending on what kind of business you have. Can you help in that kind of way? Um, you know, do you have a training and educational component in your job so that you can provide services for people, younger people, our children? Being able to homeschool, I think, is huge and amazing and awesome in so many different ways because you get to change the way things are going. Because Lord knows, most of the questioning is coming from the things that we've already been doing that haven't been working, right? So, do you have a training and educational program in your business to help people, younger kids specifically, who are into these types of things, to help them, learn in this area of life that they may be interested in? Do you have a delivery component? And obviously, everybody wants to make sure there's social distancing. What are you doing online? Do you have door-to-door services now with all the people who could never leave the house? Who we all kind of joined now. This is bringing awareness to them. How can we help them and expand on that? Because, we're really not supposed to be out and about, and you do have to social distance. And so you might be bringing your service to somebody's home. How can you do that? Do you have a component to do that within your company? Because remember, Jupiter is about expanding. So if we're talking about all these things that we learned and how can we operate in this new world, how are you bringing all of those things into your business? I think it's been one of the most exciting things about this entire process, despite the fact that it's been super scary and worrisome, of course. Change is never really easy, but really tapping into that Capricorn area of life, which is discipline, responsibilities, asking yourself the deep questions. Pluto and Capricorn, what is it that I really desire? What is it that I really want to do? And then taking action steps. Capricorn rules setting goals, and it's forward movement in a very grounded, practical way. I don't think people really understand how awesome it is to have any kind of planets and earth signs, because earth signs are the material. Anything you manifest in the material is, especially in Capricorn, it's about longevity and value over time. So anything that you're building and planting seeds for and taking small action steps for now are going to gain fruits of labors that, with Jupiter, that you could never possibly have imagined before ever. So, despite the hard work that does come with Capricorn, you will receive proceeds for that in the very near future, so long as you're doing the work. And Pluto, still in Capricorn, still in retrograde, we're still doing the work there. And again, just another indication that this is coming down the line, but making sure you're doing the deep work. We're not going to be able to get away with doing the surface kind of playing around. Capricorn is serious business, and Pluto is no joke. You will know what it is you want after this retrograde period and moving into direct. You will begin to have an understanding of what it is you really truly desire by the end of this. So I hope this information was helpful. If you're looking for a reading, you can send me an email. I got a new email, which I had before. Long story. info@awayoflife, and life is spelled LYFE.net. If you have any questions, please leave your comments below. I hope this information was helpful. Peace.